Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is everyone doing? It is October 8th, 2025. This is the RambleCast. I'm your host, Cody Toombs, and with me I have Corbin Davenport.
Hello.
So, uh, man, I'd love to say that it's been a sane week, but it hasn't. Uh, if you're watching tech news sites at all, you have certainly come across the Amazon Primeness of it all.
Yes, this is the week where we all become servants for the almighty Bezos overlords. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I've mostly clocked out on this one. I'm not paying much. I did the customary. I need to try to write something, so I'm going through my Amazon history and seeing what's on sale. And the keyboard that I use, the Logitech Pop Icon keys, is like 20% off or 30% off something. So I wrote about that because this keyboard is fine. So
This keyboard is fine.
yeah,
Very good sales
it
pitch.
does the keyboard things.
Fair enough.
That's all I need. And I did look at the. I've had this. I think I got it last Christmas, so it's been almost a year. And the product listing said 3-year battery life. And I was like, okay, let me check. And I checked, and this does in fact still have the generic AAA batteries in it, which means I've not replaced it yet. So I have not yet been able to fully test the 3-year promise, but I am coming up on the 1-year promise. And so far, so good. So
Well, congratulations, I think.
yeah.
Um, let's see. Yeah, I'm.
What you get when you have no backlight at all on the keyboard, which I don't need. That's fine. I'm not looking at the keyboard really.
Uh, I. Oh, okay. I wasn't really gonna make that a topic, but um, I really do. I really do enjoy having a backlight on a keyboard. Specifically a shine through backlight. So the actual letters on the keys are backlit. Um, it, I have a mechanical keyboard in front of me that doesn't do shine through. It only has backlit RGB behind the keys, which it looks neat and all, I guess, but man, it
Right.
weirdly throws off what you're doing when you're trying to use it. Anyway, uh, I do like the backlight. It's not that I type looking at the keys. I'm certainly well above that skill level, but there are times when like I'm standing up and I just need to like hit a couple of keys or something like that. There are times when I don't know. There are just all these scenarios where sometimes I have to look down at the keys. Maybe it's to hit the number of keys. Maybe it's to hit like brightness up and down or volume up and down. Maybe it's, well, those I know by feel, but there are just certain times where I don't have like home row position that I can take advantage of. And that comes up reasonably often. So yeah, I do like backlit.
Yeah. I mean, I like it if it's there. I appreciate it, but at least at my desk, it's not a deal breaker.
Indeed. So let's see. The as for myself, I didn't buy anything for Prime. I did I did order some stuff through Vine, yay. But yeah, that's about it. Prime, as usual, like I looked through my wish list and there were a few things on there that were cheaper than I've seen them at least recently, uh, if not ever. So I guess there are a few deals here and there, but they're not spectacular. Nothing is a oh my god, I really wish that I had the money for this, or I really can't resist buying it. Like nothing was that cheap. Everything was at most, you could have maybe saved yourself $4 or $5 on fairly expensive items. So it's like, I'm fine with this. I don't care. It's not a good enough savings to make it worth really worrying about. But hey, still it is Prime Day. There are at least some deals. I'll give it this, that I saw more legitimate deals this time than I'm used to seeing, which is kind of saying a lot.
Lowest bar, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, guys, I'm not like being ripped off as much. What a great sale! Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did get. Best Buy had a sale on. I believe this was part of their Prime Day copy. Is they had a bunch of games on sale, so I got Ratchet and Clank for the PS4 for $10 because I'm gonna play it eventually. That's my grab.
Nice. Yeah, so I don't know. Prime Day just didn't really super motivate me all that much. That being said, and I promise I will not be making this announcement too many more times, but for anyone who is gonna do any scooping up of Prime Day stuff, or really anything off of Amazon in the future, if you'd like to basically help out the channel in a fashion, I now have a website up. It's codytoombs.com, and on there I have affiliate links pointed at Amazon. It will be gaining some other store affiliate links in the fairly near future. I'm also going to be adding a lot of product recommendations, reviews, articles. The site is definitely going to be growing quite a bit. Probably not for the next 2 weeks because I have other pressing issues, but I will be adding a lot. Carson, the way Amazon works, okay, so you can definitely use it for any product. Basically, you just click through the link and it puts a cookie on, and if you buy the individual thing that's linked, you get the highest commission rate that's associated with that category. If you go to buy anything else, it still gives a commission and it still counts it. It's just at a lower rate. So that's why I've been saying, if anyone, I think I said this, if anybody has anything that they're not in a rush to buy and just want me to add, I will totally just add it to the site and let you know when the link is on, which should only take 5 minutes, if that. And yeah, that does help out more. But it's not a necessity. It is just appreciated if that is the thing. So, yeah.
And also, I believe this is also the same Amazon affiliate program where you get the product names of the things people buy with your link. So this is a fun challenge: is find the weirdest thing to buy, and Cody will read it on stream probably.
I absolutely will not. Your privacy
Okay.
is not going to be violated here unless you ask me to. If you tell me that there's a thing and you want me to see it, I will look. But otherwise, I truly and sincerely could not care less what people are buying. I am going to make every effort. Well, oh damn it, I can't say this for sure. Okay, I'm not gonna be.
Yeah, what's the Cody privacy policy?
Okay, here's the thing. The only reason I was about to say, I am going to swear to not even look at the things people have purchased, but then it occurred to me, wait, if there are legitimately people going on and getting action cameras or something like that, I actually do want to know that, because then I might make videos and articles focusing on action cameras. There's a reason to actually know, oh, did someone get a certain thing like this? I should actually try to support that, or I want to support that. So I'm not going to promise not to look, I'm just gonna promise not to be creepy about it.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, see, that I feel like that's the curse of doing this sort of thing, is there's no good way to avoid being slightly creepy while also like, if you try to do a good thing with the data, and it's going to somehow still be a thing that sounds bad sometimes. And Carson, you buy that product, go for it. I will not judge.
I would not buy one of those from Amazon. I have to say, like that. That's up there with like power cables and like SD cards. As like, I'm worried about the implications of this the failing.
Right.
Because I bought it from who knows what pile in an Amazon warehouse.
Yeah,
But
it's the pile that like random arsenic and bath salts just happen to get spilled
yeah,
onto. So whoops.
yeah.
So Carson, yeah, this is a thing a lot of people don't talk about. Which I know I hate that phrase because it gets abused so much, but yeah, it is totally a thing. If there's a tracking cookie of any kind, or if there's an Amazon tracking cookie, doesn't matter whose it is, whoever gets that credit gets to see what their customers bought now, or visitors bought. Now, I should point out, it does not give any information about who got it. It only tells you
it's just the product.
Yeah. And I don't have anything on, or I don't have any sales through my account yet. So when somebody does get something, if you want, and just let me know. I think it takes a day to show up or something. Let me know, and I will take a screenshot and show like a line item of what it looks like when it comes across. Because I'd rather people actually be able to see, like, this is a thing, this is what it tells people about. I believe it just shows you the product, a link to the product, and I think it's price, or how much.
You just wire up like a Discord bot to it.
Oh God, no!
Someone just bought socks.
I mean, socks are the bomb. Anyway,
yeah, socks are pretty good.
So
speaking of socks, brief side tangent to Elon Musk here.
Wow, that went every direction.
Oh, Carson said, "Do you still get to keep the money even the customer returns the item?"
The
answer, no.
You don't
paid out like after.
Yeah, they don't pay it out till after the return period is over. Now, granted, there are times where Amazon will take products back past the typical return period, which is 30 days, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Amazon will sometimes take products back, but in those instances, then it becomes the company's problem, the seller or manufacturer's problem, and whoever got the affiliate payment, they usually get to keep the money. I know that there can be exceptions to that, or there used to be. I don't know if that's still a thing though.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not like once you get paid out, they come and say, "Oh no, you have to give the money back." That doesn't happen.
Yeah. So yeah, just quick Elon update. We haven't heard about this guy in a while, thankfully. He's still being weird and harassing people online, but he already finished, wiping out U.S. aid and a lot of other important parts of the United States federal government. So his work is done. He's off to be a creep somewhere else. Maybe have a 18th child who doesn't want to talk to him. Who knows? And he settled a lawsuit with former Twitter employees. So there was a extended legal drama where Musk finished buying Twitter and then fired a bunch of executives to avoid paying out their severance and vested stock options. and they sued back, and he of course made a big deal, as he always does, about like, oh, I'm gonna take him to court and wipe him out and prove myself right. Well, they settled.
Yeah.
So now there is no definitive winning or losing here. It's just gonna be backroom agreeing probably to pay all the people impacted, which I think is funny because now Elon has, ruined Twitter is maybe not the right word, because Twitter has accomplished its goal in his mind, in the mind of a lot of other people. But Twitter is a worse place now, and the people who were making it, not who like weren't running it great either, also now got their bag. So really, everyone comes away here happy.
I wouldn't say happy, but
Well, they're probably getting more money here than I've made in my lifetime. So,
oh, of course they are. Uh,
yeah.
so yeah, the former CEO, former CFO, chief legal officer, and the general counsel. These four people were owed severance as part of their contracts. It was entirely unclear how much they were owed. That was obviously always a private matter. However, um, it was I could be wrong. I'm guessing that it did not add up to $128 million. That seems high for a severance. For four people.
Yeah.
So
And
and this does include, or this is relevant also to stock options and a few other things. So it is actually pretty possible that it could have justified adding up to that. But still, the big deal here is obviously, this is another thing that is costing Elon even more money. The Twitter purchase, he initially made it trying to, or the way that he did it, he tried to basically fire them instantly so he could, pretend that the company didn't owe them money. And whoops, that strategy failed. So I'm pretty sure that this is costing probably interest, damages, court fees, the whole nine, as part of the settlement. But in all likelihood, they are settling out of court, probably to avoid this actually going to court, because if there's a ruling against him for it, I'm pretty sure he still has a lawsuit pending. I could be wrong, but I think he still has a lawsuit pending about other employees that weren't paid out everything that was owed to them. So if this were to go to court, it's possible a ruling comes down against him, and then there's even another thing that gets used in that case that would push even higher payouts. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is why they're settling out of court.
yeah, again, I don't really have a high opinion of these people, but I do appreciate Elon Musk losing a little bit more money. So,
Indeed.
In this case, I will hand it to them. Although this is still, I believe, the CEO that was trying to do like NFT avatars on Twitter.
It is, yes.
Not a universal support, but I approve of this specific instance.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'll admit it. I'm happy to root against Elon Musk, even if it's rooting for someone that I didn't have very high opinion of to begin with. But hey, whatever.
Yeah, this is like the line in Star Wars of like, I don't care who wins, I just need him to lose. Like,
yes.
that's where I'm at. It's fine. So moving on to next short thing is there was ongoing more carriage dispute drama. Once again, this is my favorite genre of corporate bitch fights. Just absolute like kindergarten playground shit, but it's about like the channels that millions of people watch on TV. It's always so funny. Supposedly NBC and YouTube have reached a new multi-year deal to keep NBC Universal's channels on YouTube TV NBC Universal, which of course owns NBC, Telemundo, Bravo, CNBC, MSNBC, which is getting that new name at some point. I already forgot what it was, but it's dumb.
I hadn't even heard about
Um,
that, but cool.
yeah. Um, yeah, you don't have to worry about those specific channels leaving for a couple years, and then this will happen again. But
Yeah. Yeah, but this is the follow up from, I believe we talked about this last week, that this was likely to come up. And yeah, it's here it is, they avoided the channel loss. Which is good news for people that care about this, that are YouTube TV subscribers. But yeah, not anything too special. I think both of them just admitted it was in their best interest not to screw this up. So yeah. Again, that was just a quick hit follow up. So moving on to Mastodon. Our favorite social network that has completely taken over Twitter's entire audience. I'm sure that's true,
yeah,
right? No
yeah. I mean,
other explanation.
it is getting a tiny resurgence again because once again, the other social this is how Mastodon wins is by everyone else being a fucking idiot.
Well,
Um, so
by everyone you mean Jay, but yeah.
well, I mean, last couple of times it was Elon, and then a couple of times before that it was Mark. So
Yeah, now it's Jay's
pick
turn.
your pick your social media. But yeah, there was some more drama about Blue Sky, which I thought about adding, but I don't really want to go down that entire rabbit hole again.
Yeah, I
So
don't want to explain
there's
waffles.
yeah, I don't even know if I could honestly, even if I had the entire story in front of me. I think it's just like he had to be there. But
Yeah, yeah,
Blue Sky's
definitely
being
is.
dumb. So people are looking at. I don't think Mastodon's getting like a massive wave or anything, but people are looking at it again, which is nice. As someone who never left, I'm on both. So I'm on both sides, so this way I always win. And
Yes.
Mastodon announced they are working on packs, which are basically the starter packs from Blue Sky, which was a pretty cool idea on Blue Sky, where basically there's just a list of accounts that are usually categorized to some degree. Like, on Blue Sky might be like, here's a bunch of NFL players, or here's a bunch of tech journalists, or whatever, and people can add or remove from that list. And there's usually, I don't know if I imagine it's in this implementation, but usually there's like a button to like follow all of them at once. So when Blue Sky was getting started, this is a nice way of like filling your timeline with people you care about, instead of like you know finding people one at a time and then kind of going back to that discover page that's full of stuff you don't care about. And they're doing this in the same process as, I should say, Mastodon's implementation is. I'll quote The Verge. They said, Mastodon will, the decentralized social network, announce the feature as part of the Fedi Forum announced on Tuesday. It will work similar to starter packs on Blue Sky, which offer curated lists of accounts you can follow based on categories. Mastodon will allow you to opt out of packs, meaning other users can't include your account in one. You'll also receive a notification when someone adds you to a pack, and unlike Blue Sky starter packs, you can remove yourself without reporting or blocking the user who made the list. And similar story as the quote posts or quote tweets in Mastodon, where they're adding the underlying framework for this in the next Mastodon release. And then in a future one, whenever most servers have that running, or that version or newer, they'll flip it on. So, and it's an extension on the existing protocol, so other platforms can add it, or it'll show up in apps or whatever. But I think it's nice. I really, I'm not quite sure I understand the motivation to work on this before there is like a fully functioning server migration. option working yet. Like I now, like the one thing I've noticed about Mastodon in the last year or so is a lot of people are understandably burnt out, and so there's been a lot of a lot of big servers that have closed, and had to have people move elsewhere. And with that happening, I feel like the more than ever the development should be focused on like making account migration easier, especially because in theory, Blue Sky is supposed to be built on this, or the protocol that it's using. But that's still like that, and the process of moving servers is still really annoying, and there's no mechanism for moving your posts over at all. So I would I feel like that should be the priority, but I don't know.
I'm going to sort of theorize an explanation for that. Well, two. Number one, I think by any objective measure, uh, full migration is a much harder problem to solve. These starter packs, this is easy, or fairly easy. Let's be honest, it's basically just metadata. It's a list. There are a few features built to support it and make it not a miserable feature, and that's it. Like, it's a really easy feature to build once you've established just what it needs to have. Full server migration sounds easy, but it's got a lot of complications. There are so many things that happen with the server migration, because obviously you end up with situations where, like, effectively replies become kind of dead links back to, a comment or a post that obviously still exists, but not at its original place. You have the possibility that people will, there's no better way to say it than this, they'll cheat with their server migration by, like, basically going back in time and changing or adding things that they didn't actually post at the time. I bet a lot of people who like to predict stuff in the future are going to take advantage of that sort of thing.
Yeah, Blue Sky has this, but it is very funny. Like I saw someone did a joke of there was a post of someone's just yelling like, "Oh my God, turn on the TV," and the date on the post is like September 11th, 2001.
Yeah,
it's a good bit. It's a good bit. But yeah, like I know it's difficult and there's a bunch of catches, but I would like there to be something, like, even if it's not complete, maybe it's limited to the last month post or something. I don't know, but I wish they'd figure something out, something better.
I think there are a lot of ways that they can and should support it. It's just definitely more complicated and requires sort of let's just say sort of baking in permanent decisions that will be even harder to change if they ever decide to. So yeah, I mean, I get it. I really do get it. But I also agree with you. I think server migration is one of the highest priority items that they should have, just because it's so vital. And Mastodon is definitely feeling its pain points at this stage. Like, the sheer weight of a network that keeps getting bigger, keeps generating more data, and the hosts, they're eating a lot of bills at this stage. So, and they're only going to get more expensive. So, having a good strategy to mitigate that, having a good strategy to basically support people having a history and a background on the social network that then can follow them from server to server when servers go bye-bye. Like, it's already bad enough that you're going to have to change all of the links that point to various services. That's just a problem already. And it's only going to get worse. So yeah, I fully support the idea that they just have to correct for this. But yeah, I don't know. I still think that this is at least a good feature, the starter packs, that is, because let's be honest, a lot of people come in and just they go to Mastodon to follow probably like two people. One or two people that they actually want to follow are probably only on Mastodon, or maybe focus their attention on Mastodon, or maybe for some other reason a person doesn't want to follow them on Blue Sky or Twitter or wherever. And so they get there, they follow their one or two people, and then they're like, okay, now what? You know, they're kind of stuck. So having a starter pack is the way to go. Like, it's a thing you kind of need to do. And this is something that early on in the transition to Mastodon, this was something other people were already doing for tech journalists, or journalists in general. Multiple people just basically created lists and said, hey, if you want to be on this list and you're this type of person, let us know and we'll put you on. And so that's how certainly a lot of journalists, tech journalists, we'll say pundits, I guess, that's how a lot of them kind of got their early subscriber list, is by jumping on those lists. So yeah, I mean, this is a good thing, even if it's not maybe the most prescient of features.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You got anything else on that?
No.
Cool. So let's talk about censorship. I'm not gonna turn this into a big political discussion, though there's certainly one to be had. But it's been the news of the week. Apple killed the IceBlock app from the App Store. Google similarly took down Red Dot, which was basically the same thing, but for Android. And then just today, or I believe it was just today, maybe it was yesterday, Apple also pulled down the Eyes Up app, which was basically, for lack of a better way to put it, TikTok for ICE arrests. People could post videos of ICE performing arrests, and unfortunately it also involved posting the location and time of those arrests, which is the reason that has been cited for why it was taken down, though I think we all know better than that. Nevertheless, yeah.
I mean, even if it was, like, they're supposed to have identification.
Oh, yeah.
The ICE people, I should say.
Yeah, there are infinite reasons why this is a problematic trend. But I will say that under the circumstances, giving them one in was a problem. Like, the developers should have probably, or not should have, this is a thing they shouldn't have had to do, but if the developer had not given them an excuse for taking this for a takedown, they would have had to be even more obvious with their blatant government censorship. Anyway, and it is technically, this falls into that category where it's not government censorship, even though we know it is, because it's not the government that is forcing these to be taken down. Rather, it is Apple and Google that have chosen to remove the apps at the request of the government, which is, still censorship, but we're gonna, or the government or the current administration is pretending otherwise. So there's not a lot to say about this other than, just highlighting that it's a growing problem. It started with one app, it quickly hit a second, then a third, and I think probably as time goes by, this is just going to become even more widespread, and it's probably going to go well past app stores. I wouldn't be surprised if the next demand is something like searching, like they're probably going to demand that Discord turn up a list of any server that discusses the whereabouts of ICE or something like that. I think that this is just going to become a very widespread type of maneuver, and it's going to get worse. That being said, Oh, it's always rough to give too much praise to Apple, or rather, former Apple. But some of Apple's prior executives have spoken up on the matter and basically said, this sucks. Apple should not be doing this. Do not bend to the will of a government administration that is basically asking you to do something that they have no justification to do.
That is like former executives' favorite thing to do, though.
Yeah.
Is like when their company fucks up, it's like, I wouldn't have done that.
Right.
If I was there, I wouldn't have done it. Yes, you would.
Well,
we all know.
And dare I say, this is also like the same thing is said all the time about politicians. As soon as a politician is either officially on the way out, or like especially once they've been out for a little bit, oh man, do they love to speak up and say, yeah, this thing that I would have supported in the past, or I previously would have done. Oh no, I would never do that. That is insane. Nobody currently should be doing that thing. Or everyone should be pushing to do a certain thing. Like, I believe it was a few Republican senators actually spoke up, or former senators spoke up in favor of legalizing marijuana. It's like, really? You waited till after you were out of office to support this? Yeah, okay. We get it. You can't say these things when you're in office, but the moment you're out, oh boy, all of a sudden the popular opinion becomes your stance.
Yeah. It's almost like these people don't have
spines,
any moral guidance whatsoever. Yeah, I won't go on a extended rant here. I'll just say, like, I think this is the best case so far for the importance of sideloading.
Yes.
Like, straight up, this is now the best argument beyond, I think, most other. Granted, all the other reasons were valid already. Especially every time Apple's like, well, someone might install malware. It's like, no, malware is still showing up in the App Store constant. Or not even malware. Again, I keep going back to, like, how many articles are there now of like ChatGPT, like someone just losing their entire mind in that app and like committing crime. There was just something about like someone starting a wildfire after talking to ChatGPT about it. Like,
to be fair, that guy was already pretty far gone. Because apparently
but that's what's happening in most of the cases.
Well, apparently he was making a point of using ChatGPT to create images of wildfires and burning down cities and stuff like that. So he was already like an arsonist that hadn't lit a match. He just needed ChatGPT to push him over that last little hurdle. So the guy had problems.
That's how a lot of the cases are going. But yeah, like there's just so many examples of apps that are harmful to a lot of people that are still there.
Yeah,
I wouldn't put ChatGPT that has this different intended use case, even if the result might be similar. But yeah, just great argument here for the ability to install whatever software you want, because this is pretty important, and I'm sure it won't be the last thing. They'll do, like you said, I'm sure they'll do it for Discord and every other social media or any like user generated content that gets to a certain scale that doesn't lick the boot. But
yeah, I didn't pull up a link for it, but it is worth noting that ICE is apparently trying to move toward being able to scan all social networks for anything that people post, and their purported reason is so that they can track down more people that are like illegal immigrants or whatever. But in reality, it's already been highlighted that they're doing it basically to find dissent, anyone who's trying to like dox ICE, anyone who's even bad mouthing them, apparently. So this channel's probably got about 6 minutes left in it, but yeah, so we're fully into the scary times, and
Yeah.
Ironically, this is just another step in that direction. But yes, with sideloading at the very least, if a company loses its spine, sideloading is a great workaround to that. There's still the potential for keeping uh, basically First Amendment protected things in existence, even if the companies that enabled those things in the past are, let's just say, failing to function appropriately. The problem is, and this is worth highlighting, sideloading isn't going to die with Google's most recent announcements. For those that are following, we did discuss this 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, something like that. Google announced that they're basically adding a signing step so that you register yourself with Google and then you can sign your apps, which would allow them to be sideloaded. I get the logic of this. The problem is Google at any time can revoke that signature, at which point the app that is supplied with that signature basically becomes non-operational and presumably might get uninstalled. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. If Google is willing to take these things down off the store, who's to say that they won't also be willing to revoke the signature for the app? At which point, this is no different than full OS wide censorship. So yeah.
Or just give your all your developer account information to the relevant authorities.
Exactly. So this is dangerous. And I get why they're doing it. I understand the motivation. It is also just not acceptable. This is why we need to still have control over the operating systems that we've legally installed or purchased or what have you.
Yep.
Which also, side note, Apple, we're still waiting for sideloading here in the US. F off and bring it, or just saying, someone's going to start demanding that, and you're not going to be happy when their demands come in.
Yeah, I will probably be in the market for a modern Android phone again soon. Probably not to use as a everyday phone, but probably something that can have a custom ROM with as much ripped out as possible.
Not the worst idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking of company,
I have my Pine phone, but it's kind of barely functional as a phone. Last time I checked, I haven't tried the recent ROMs, but I remember when I got it, the choices were like, okay, there's Ubuntu mobile where the camera doesn't work, or like Linux where something, I think it was like 4G or something was broken. I don't know.
Wow.
It was giving vibes of when I had my Samsung Galaxy player and I was choosing, like, do I want a slightly older version? Do I want this custom ROM? Like the stock OS was Gingerbread. It was stuck there. I was like, I want something newer. My options are this guy's ROM with cameras broken, or this guy's ROM where the Bluetooth doesn't work. Which one do I choose?
Yikes.
Anyway, I appreciate all those developers, though. They're doing the Lord's work. Speaking of companies being awful, we got to talk about Synology. So Synology, if you're out of the loop, Synology makes a lot of network attached storage devices, so like NAS units you can put in hard drives and use them as little servers or files, network file storage, whatever. And the 2020, starting with the 2025 models of their units, they introduced a hard requirement for drives. So if you had a drive pool set up on old Synology and you were moving it over, it would take whatever. But if you're starting fresh, it would have to be drives on their official compatibility list. And their stated reason for this was like, it's kind of important for reliability that you only use the drives that we've tested to be known as reliable, and that sort of thing.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This it this has been somewhat misreported basically this whole time. It's not that you couldn't put in a drive that wasn't supported. It's that if you did, a lot of the features associated with like smart s the I forget what it stands for, but the smart feature for like detecting a drive that's about to fail or things like that, those features would not be functional. Am I wrong there? I'm pretty sure
I believe it was entire functionality. Like the drive will not be recognized if
okay.
it's incompatible. I believe. Um, Someone yell at me if I'm wrong, but the so this was an issue because you know uh, computer hard drives and solid state drives are like standard protocols. They're all supposed to kind of work the same. Obviously some are built different than others and some are more reliable than others, but that's why you have a NAS with several drive bays is because eventually one of them will fail even if they're built perfectly, and you can just swap them in and it's fine. And this has not been a requirement with like really any other consumer grade stuff. I know. I think I want to say this started as a requirement with Synology's like enterprise level hardware,
It
where
did,
like
yeah.
like those companies are definitely like they we talk about this every time. I think Backblaze does like their yearly report about like how their servers are going, and it always creates like an interesting uh discourse about like companies buying thousands and thousands of hard drives, but it's like one specific model because they found one that is reliable enough for them and is cost effective. So it makes sense in that context, not so much for just home use where you're not running like mission critical software necessarily, and also it's your NAS. You should be able to pick what goes in it. um and there was further issues where it kind of felt like this was like a weird money making scheme, because a lot of the drives in the compatibility list, there weren't a lot of third party drives. It was mostly Synology branded drives. I haven't looked at it recently, but I believe a lot of them are still there, and those are, my understanding is, mostly just like rebadged Toshiba drives, and those same drives are cheaper elsewhere without the Synology branding. So
Yes.
it kind of just felt like a weird, like, you need a good drive. Thankfully, we have the good drives at a higher price than normal.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sure there were other reasons, but yes, this was pretty much just purely a money making aspect to it. Because
yeah,
Synology has the reputation as being basically the NAS maker that is a little more expensive than the competition, which actually isn't even entirely true. There's definitely competitors that are more expensive per bay and everything, but they their software was good, and a lot of people were choosing Synology uh, boxes just because if the software is better, then and you don't mind spending an extra 10-15 bucks buying the box if you're getting better software and otherwise basically comparable hardware. The problem is, frankly, Terramaster, Ugreen, especially Ugreen, and others are catching up on the software. And not only that, but there are aftermarket software options like Unraid, um, TrueNAS. I think that's the correct name right now, which used to, well, they also had FreeNAS, but FreeNAS became TrueNAS. There's a whole thing.
yeah,
Anyway, yeah, if when you consider that those software packages are very either caught up to or in some cases well surpassing what Synology offers, um, you know, their 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 power with the software is starting to wane. And I think that they recognize that the kind of the play here is to try. I think what they're going to do is basically lower the prices on their NASs relatively soon, but it's going to, or it was intended to come with a cost of, you're going to have to get Synology hard drives to fill them up. And that's where I think they were going to make the extra money. Um, Basically, it's kind of like the printer scheme. Sell a printer for say $50, which is well below what the printer hardware should actually cost, and then you refill the ink with, or the toner cartridges. Or you don't refill them, but you buy new toner cartridges that cost almost as much as the printer did in the first place, which is well above what they should have cost. I think that was kind of the direction that Synology wanted to go here. I could be wrong, but I honestly just think they wanted to lower their prices on the upfront box and make it up on the back end.
Yeah, yeah, it was just really bizarre, and it also had a bunch of other carryover effects. Like a popular thing to, I don't know how popular it is at this point, but there's a thing where you can just go deal hunting for like random external drives and other NAS systems and just rip out the hard drives and then stick them in a NAS, and couldn't really do that with this system because they're not sold like that.
People, yes, certainly did do that, but in case anyone's listening, don't. The external drives that you just pick up out of like a, Walmart or wherever, you can certainly use them in a NAS, and they're okay. Like it's not a terrible thing to do, but man, those things are not built to be running 24/7. They are not intended for the sort of usage pressure that a NAS typically will put on drives. So, yeah, just that you can do it. It will save you a few bucks here and there. And if you don't mind if a drive fails, go ahead. Just be very aware that that's taking a pretty big risk. Because those drives,
Yeah.
I've heard of people doing that with those drives and having them fail in like 12 to 18 months.
Right. Yeah, so that was a whole thing that was happening. Thankfully, our national nightmare is over. After that was an issue with like all of the 2025 Synology models that have come out on the consumer side, and I saw, this kind of thing is very hard to judge fairly because the people complaining are always going to be the loudest. But I did see so many posts on like the Synology Reddit and other places of like, I'm done, I'm out. Here's the giant Ugreen I just bought, and it took them a while, but Synology has walked back that requirement. So the DSM 7.3 update, that's the operating system that the Synology drives or models use. That update is going out, and it enables support for third-party drives on all of those models. So if you buy a new one and you fully update it, it should work exactly like all the other Synology drives. You can stick whatever drives you want in it. And so this changed for me that when my Synology NAS dies, I will probably replace it with another Synology. I'm not sure yet. That's a ways off. As previously stated before, we clicked the live button. I have a really old one. It's still working perfectly fine. I'll replace it when it becomes a security risk, I guess. But I do think that Synology burned a lot of customer trust doing this, even if it didn't retroactively apply to existing models. It only ever applied to new ones. But I'm sure there were a lot of people who bought those and didn't find out until afterwards that was a requirement. So this for me is kind of like on the scale of the the Sonos app update where Sonos like just fucked up immeasurably and then realized that, and then eventually was like, oh shit, we're sorry, please come back, we're begging you. I would have liked to see a little bit more of that from Synology, but this is just the last bullet point on their blog post about this update. Um, so I I don't have a lot of faith that like they won't try this again in the future or something close to it. I would hope they don't, but I don't know. I would have liked to see some more groveling, if I'm being honest. Um, that would make me feel better for sure as a potential customer in the future.
I think that is ambitious. But you never know. It certainly could happen. Um, yeah, at this stage, I don't really know what to think about this. I think it's obviously good that they backtracked. They should. Um, I think it's obviously crucial that they recognize that this was bad for their business, at least in most senses. Um, what I don't really know what to say about it is this is sort of that typical company recognizes they screwed up, people aren't happy, and is it a big deal? Is it going to change anything? No. I mean, it changes the immediate problem, but okay, so what? It's not really reshaping what their plans are. It's just taking away their immediate plan today. Um, and I think that there's, like I said before, there's so much good competition. I kind of think Synology's going to have to start reaching into the ether and picking out other ways that they can try to make back that money. And if it's not going to be with hard drives, it's going to be, I don't know, subscription services. It's going to be higher prices on the boxes themselves. It's going to be, I don't know, take your pick. There will be something. We're not seeing it today, but we'll see it. They're going to look for other ways to monetize. And if it's not this, it's going to be something else.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention this, but the drive compatibility thing was also happening at the same point as I believe some like video encoding codecs were ripped out of Synology models, and Synology dropping support for one or two of their apps. I think there was the whichever one they have for. There was something about their like security camera app for like self-hosted security. I don't know if that went away or dropped support for something, but there was that. And then also I believe they had a like video player app get discontinued, sort of like their baby's first Plex. So there were a lot of things happening at once where it kind of seemed like, oh, Plex doesn't actually care about normal buyers anymore. Even if it was functionality that maybe a lot of people didn't use and that's why they got rid of it, it still all added up together to this not great feeling. So yeah,
Yeah.
good times.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so switching gears yet again. Um Going actually kind of reverting back to the subject of Google. Good news. Finally, some good news, sort of. Uh, but as we previously mentioned, Google's kind of taken a pot shot at sideloading. Well, uh, even though they may be doing that, and it's certainly in preparation for this, Google does not have any real way out of the upcoming legal changes in response to the Epic lawsuit against Google about external payment solutions and being able to steer people out of the Play Store. So that deadline is coming up on October 22nd. And at that time, Google will have to allow apps in the Play Store to use external payment options that basically bypass Google's own. And they will have to allow people to steer users off of the Play Store. In other words, they can put up links, or they can put links right in the app that basically says, hey, do you want to subscribe to Dropbox or Netflix or whatever? Yeah, here's a link. Go do it on our website. Because that used to be a thing that just wasn't allowed. You could have subscriptions or whatever on your website as part of an account or whatever, but you couldn't have a link that took someone directly to that, which was comically inappropriate in my opinion. And
I mean, this was similar to the thing with Apple for years, where you'd have cases of Amazon having an app, like a Kindle app for iPhone, but like not actually being able to buy any books through it, because then they'd have to give Apple a cut, and many other similar instances.
Yeah, so this basically creates finally the legal line where Google has to actually basically compete. They have to actually be able to compete with other payment providers and sort of offer the same sorts of features. Now, that being said, there is, of course, the caveat, because Google is imposing the same BS policy that Apple is doing outside of the US, or rather, specifically in the EU, where you can use external payment providers, but Apple is still going to charge you an exorbitant fee for all those transactions anyway, even if they're not happening through Apple's payment service. Therefore, you're still going to be paying the companies or any developer is still going to be paying those companies a ton of money, and they're just not doing anything for it anymore. That's obviously a problem. It is what it is. That doesn't apply to all things. That's basically applying just like in-app purchases and stuff like that. But yeah, it's still an issue. So yeah.
Yeah, and I like Google taking a page from Apple here with this quote. Google spokesperson told The Verge, quote, Android provides more choice for users and developers than any mobile OS, and the changes ordered by the U.S. District Court will jeopardize users' ability to safely download apps. While we're disappointed with the order isn't stayed, we will continue our appeal. Keyword there, safely download apps. So we're doing the same. Our walled garden is the only place you are allowed to frolic. We definitely don't have malware and shady apps in there. No, sir.
Yeah, and okay, so of the two things that are being pressured in here, one of them is external payment providers, which has nothing to do with app safety. Now, it can have to do with apps or with payment scams, so there is that. But whether or not an app is actually safe to use, that's something that has nothing to do with an external payment provider. As for the other side of this, whether or not steering people off the site is safe, in theory, that is a little bit of a riskier element, because if I recall, I believe the rules say that part of your steerage can be that you can direct people to actually download other apps that would then be sideloaded. But nevertheless, that's still, it's a far reach for them to claim that this is about safety. It's not about safety. This is 100% about profit. And hey, look, I'm not begrudging Google the right to profit. I think they absolutely should. And there are certain things
but I'll do it.
Okay. There are certain things that even I think Google fully has a right to demand some amount of money for, let's say, supporting in-app purchases, even if they're payment provider, or even if they're not the payment provider. Fine. If something is passing through their system, they do deserve a percentage. Should it be as high as it is? Probably not, and the courts should probably be discussing that. But I can support that argument. What I can't support is the fact that they're demanding all the control and a relatively high cost of doing it, and not giving developers or users those real choices. So, yep, this is this. I'm not going to say everything here was the right solution, but I think it's a lot better than what it was.
Right. Kids, we call this a regional monopoly. This is the tech version of you going to Disney World and the water bottle costs $8. That's what this is.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that one.
Thank you. I need a water bottle. So speaking of profiteering and how large corporations should not exist.
And nickel and diming.
Yeah. We've got more Game Pass news.
Somehow.
Yeah. So I'm actually gonna open the Xbox article about this too, because I've already forgot. I can't keep track of the tiers anymore. I'm gonna be real honest. But
is this tier based? I thought this was just across the board.
Some of them went up. I think
okay.
The PC Game Pass is staying the same and the other ones are not. I'm not totally sure anymore.
Wait, with regard to this topic with the DLC discounts?
Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm getting that mixed up. That's my bad.
Okay, was there? Please don't tell me there was something else that I didn't even notice.
No,
Okay.
I'm thinking of the price increases from, I think that was last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is it's a lot more straightforward. DLCs used to have discounts if you were a Game Pass subscriber. I think not all of them, just a lot of them did. Maybe I'm mistaken. I haven't looked at
it's the ones that come with Game Pass.
Okay.
So it's like,
if you want to buy them, you can get them cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of those discounts have since disappeared. They're gone. If the discount was pretty good in the past, that's not a thing anymore. Instead, put simply, there's now just a 10% reward point bonus if you happen to be a Game Pass subscriber and want to buy those DLCs. So basically, they just increased the prices and turned what used to be the discount into just into a petty reward. So that's where we're at. I mean, obviously this sucks. I don't know what to say, because in a sense, like, Microsoft, Xbox, whatever, has the right to do that. It's not like they're cheating customers per se. Rather, it's just, we're watching the absolute collapse of every single thing that made Game Pass an attractive thing. It's all going away. And not only that, but this is kind of the timing of this is sort of the extra, like, slap to anyone who was just about to say, you know what, Game Pass is too expensive, we're going to cut and run. All those people who were waiting to get the DLCs at the last minute, yeah, they're not going to get those discounts now. So, yeah. That sucks.
Yeah, again, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm just, I'm fully exited my early 20s now. I'm like slightly more of a functional adult, and I'm seeing the same patterns repeat. But like, it is so crazy to watch businesses make the most like self-destructive actions imaginable. Like, I'm looking at Microsoft here, who was like, okay, we have an established presence in the games industry. We got a console, we got some development studios, we got some publishers. We need to ramp this shit up. So we're gonna buy Bethesda. Oh, well, we want more, so we're gonna buy Activision Blizzard for more money than God has. And then it's like, fuck, we spent too much money on Activision Blizzard. We need to jack up the prices for everything we make. And then, oops, we're also going to like cancel a lot of games and close a lot of studios because we spent all that money. Now we don't have games to sell, but you know what? Let's raise prices anyway. Raise them to the roof, baby. We got it. And then you look at like 2 weeks ago and you see news of retailers just completely stopping to sell Xbox consoles because no one's buying them because they're not anywhere close to the value they were just like 2 or 3 years ago. And there's the entire future of this platform is sort of up in the air. So it's just and like seeing this situation develop, and you're like Phil Spencer or whoever, and you're like, okay, raise the prices more, baby. Keep going, keep going all day long. It's just incredible. And I know it's because they're all stuck in like, oh, we got to get next quarter's numbers looking better. I know that's like the primary goal of these guys, but it's incredible. You really can just achieve so much in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, I don't know a better way to put it than that. You kind of nailed it. This is, well, like,
and it's not even it's fun for me to punch up at Phil Spencer and such, but like every one of these boneheaded decisions, there's a layoff associated of like a couple hundred people. Yeah, sometimes a lot more. So like it's not even really that fun to joke about. It's like, yeah, Microsoft needed to buy Activision Blizzard, so now a lot of people lost their jobs. And at some point maybe Sony and Nintendo are the only companies making consoles, and then I wouldn't be surprised if Sony gets like a lot more anti-consumer because like, oops, our main competition just shot itself in the leg. So it's crazy times we live in.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, this is the collapse of everything that Game Pass, or everything that made Game Pass attractive. This is not a cost-effective place anymore, or it hasn't been very cost-effective for a while. It arguably was good for convenience, and it was arguably cost-effective if you really put it to work. But yeah, now, this is just another dismantling of the value. The value proposition just keeps going away. And yeah, competitively, it's obviously a terrible situation because it sort of, I can't help but think that people who bought into Xbox in the past because of Game Pass, right now, so many of them have to be looking at this series of events and saying, you know what? Everything about that was a bad decision. I regret it. And like Microsoft just like permanently lost a customer, or maybe not permanent in the sense of like truly for lifelong, but they lost them for at least a generation, probably two. So, someone who is, let's say, early 20s right now, like yourself, in theory, Microsoft might have to wait until that person is in their 40s before they can get them back. That is a long damn time to have to try to fight to regain a customer. That is not a situation they want to be in. Not when customer acquisition is already so difficult in the gaming space.
Yeah, because the point of entry is now the box you just jacked up to $650.
Exactly.
And I don't know. It's just crazy to watch this because this doesn't even really read to me as general. I know people love saying inchinification. I hate that word because it's just capitalism. It's just like this to me doesn't even feel like normal capitalism thing of like, we need to extract as much profit as possible. It reads to me more as like cut and run shit.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we don't really see the growth like this. This is direct TV for the last decade. It's like we have no chances of getting more market share. We're going to extract as much profit as we can from the people who are stuck with us, and we're just going to ride that out for another 10 years.
It wasn't designed. Yeah, to your point, it wasn't designed to be a bait and switch, but it became one. Like once they realized the jig is up, our entire business model for subscriptions basically just failed, for whatever reason, or there is. You can chalk it up to whether they think it was a legitimate failure, mismanagement or whatever. But everything about that just failed. Therefore, screw it. Let's just make the money that we can. Let's extract it by force, because people already bought in. That like they're invested. What is it? Fine, they'll be unhappy about having to spend another $100 in the remaining lifespan of this system, or $100 more than they would have. But at least we get our money and we can go. Like that's what this feels like, and it's not a good look, obviously, for one. But two, I think that this has bigger, more complicated side effects too. Like you said, obviously Sony, this is sort of inviting Sony to be more anti-consumer in their next generation. But not only that, I think this goes maybe even further in that it could sort of put back the potential for a good subscription-based service from existing for another 5 to 8 to 10 years. Maybe someone else was looking at the Game Pass model and saying, you know what, we like this, we're going to make some changes, but we're going to try this too. And they might have done it right. They might have done it in a way that was sustainable and would have survived. Whereas I think right now everyone's looking at this, and the biggest lesson to take away is, Game Pass was a failure. No one can do this. Like, this is not going to work. Kind of the same way that everyone looked at game streaming when Stadia crashed. I don't think that that's a good one-to-one comparison, but because a lot of people already hated that idea. But there is that element of this stuff, when it crashes and burns, it scares anyone else from trying it. And that is, I think, going to be a chilling effect on the industry. And maybe that's a good thing, but it might be a bad thing. I don't know.
Good times over at Microsoft. And I didn't put this in because I don't really have a lot to add, but I am reminded of the news of them closing another workaround for setting up local accounts in Windows 11. That was last week, I think.
Was it? I thought it was more recent. I thought it was just like 2 or 3 days ago. But
maybe.
Regardless,
yeah.
That's a pretty new change. And basically they want to lock down. They want to lock it down so you can't create just a local account anymore. It's going to be purely, you have to, when you're setting up Windows, you have to attach at least one account that is a Microsoft account.
Yeah, and for anyone who is like doing this, I believe so far they're still only closing vulnerability. I've had a long chat and work about this today, but I believe they're still only closing workarounds inside the installer, like while you're on the PC doing it. But like all of the workarounds for like making a custom install ISO with Rufus or other similar tools, all those still work. And I have trouble believing those will ever go away, because I don't think they can kill that while also allowing IT people to use those tools that they were meant for.
Right.
So there's that, because of Microsoft's inability to build an operating system properly. That will stay an option.
I'm not gonna fully knock them on that one. I think it's a justified area for this to still work, in large part because, let's be honest, that does not account for the type of people that they're trying to pressure into
Right.
getting
This is
accounts.
always, yeah, this is always about manipulating the average computer user, average person going and buying a new laptop. We're gonna, bully them into logging with Microsoft. We're going to like scream at them if they dare download Google Chrome. Don't you dare do that. Edge is just like Chrome. Please use it. So
Right, but
good. Okay.
yeah, I was just gonna say, like, they don't care about the enterprise user that just needs to set up like a box on the floor that doesn't have a Microsoft account. Like, that's not an issue for them. They care about getting the personal users with this. That's who they're trying to scoop up. And that makes sense. And there's always going to be a place, I think there's always going to be a place for sort of the service level accounts that just need to be local accounts. That's a thing businesses will need, and I don't think Microsoft is ever going to want to get rid of that because they recognize businesses need it. But that's also a thing that even among like you and I, we know how to do this stuff. We know how to get those tools and configure them and work with them, but the average person does not. Even a lot of enthusiasts either don't know how to do it, or even if they know that they can do it, they're not going to spend the effort. Like, it's effort to do that, and it's a pain. No one wants to go through that if they don't have to. Believe me, I remember, because I used to make slipstreamed ISOs just because like everybody, I had to do the semi-regular, like, just wipe and reinstall. And I went to the trouble of making slipstreamed ISOs a few times, and oh man, it is not worth it. Like, yes, it saved me some time on the install, but the time making them was just not even close to well spent. I stopped doing it pretty easily after I'd started, because that's a time investment nobody needs to make. And I'm sure it's faster now. I'm sure it's easier now, but not by enough.
Yeah. So that I just was saying that as a PSA of help the people in your lives declutter their Windows PCs
By switching them away from Windows.
Yeah, you gotta help. You gotta help them make the flash drive, or if they can, install Linux Mint or something. But that's not for everyone. Then you have to help them with Linux. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah, then you're signing yourself up to a subscription of pain.
Yes, that is why the PC I fixed for my brother is just Windows 11. And okay, so next thing is, I didn't actually see this one, so you're gonna have to explain it.
Okay, so back in 2015, well, technically before that, but there was a cybersecurity law put into place. It is known as CISA 2015, or for the sake of easy pronunciation, I'm actually going to call it Seesaw. Just because I think sounds a little clearer. But simply put, this was a law that effectively said, hey, if you are a organization of whatever kind, a business or government or whatever, if you stumble across cybersecurity threats, please share them. Please share them. Whatever the circumstances, please share them. That way things can be done about them more effectively, more efficiently. It basically offered protections in some cases, certainly, where it made sense. Basically protecting companies that when they report these things, they won't be directly punished for necessarily how they discovered them or things like that. There's a lot of gray areas about what exactly it did, but effectively, this was about proper reporting of vulnerabilities and cybersecurity threats.
Okay, so kind of like what the airline industry has, where if your plane crashes, there's kind of a standardized process to go through and report or discover whatever issue there was.
I don't think
Okay.
I'm not sure that they're really that similar of things, but maybe. I don't know exactly which thing you're talking about. Regardless, this is we talked, I want to say about 2 months ago, about the I forget what it was, but it was that database of vulnerability reporting that exists. What was that called? Oh, that's gonna bug me. Anyway, the big discussion at that time was that was not getting funding anymore, or was it in danger of not getting funding. So, the big problem is the US is the one that funds it, but it is an international thing, or it performs an international service. Therefore, it would have been ideal if maybe that was no longer a thing that just the US contributed to. Well, this is one of the laws that's also closely related to that, because it basically protects companies that would make reports of that kind, and basically is encouraging them to make those types of reports. Anyway, Seesaw 2015 just expired. So, in other words, companies that previously had those protections to report known vulnerabilities that they had discovered no longer have those protections. Now, they can still certainly do reporting. They can basically approach whoever they need to in order to try to get protections, but this now would have to be done on an individual basis. It also basically comes at the cost of simplicity and, in some cases, federal protection versus sort of civil or statutory issues. So, in short, everything just got way more complicated. Now, of course, Congress was set to renew the law, and actually would have done it if not for the government shutdown that just occurred. So, yay for that. Don't get me wrong, I'm actually still in support of the shutdown, but that's a separate discussion. Hey, Metric Raw, how's it going? Also, I didn't get to say it earlier, but hello to Carson and Austin, who also... Oh, and David, who have also been in chat. It's 3 a.m. and you have school at 8 tomorrow. Dude, go to sleep. Or don't. I don't know.
Oh, man. I just scrolled down on this article, and...
you got to the Rand Paul part, right?
The sentence, one of the biggest roadblocks was Senator Rand Paul. He objected to reauthorizing the law without changes to language about combating misinformation, disinformation. This guy, we gotta just lock him in a room somewhere.
Yeah.
He just needs to not be around government.
Yeah, a guy who very specifically is like, you know what the internet needs more of? Lying. Anyway, yeah, I was going to bring that up, but
I'm
just
tired
because
of seeing that guy.
Yeah, every time he speaks, it's bad.
Yeah, one of the top candidates for guys I never want to see or hear from ever again. Just go do something else. Go play golf or something. I don't know what he likes to do, but it's got to be something other than this.
Honestly, I think he just likes to be a pain in the ass.
Oh, I'm sure, but he's got to find a different outlet for this.
I mean, I think he is literally just a troll. Like, if he weren't in government, he would be an internet troll.
That is most of our government now.
I mean, now it is, yes.
Is guys who want to be trolls, so.
But yeah.
And he's in good company.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the beautiful thing is, fortunately, so many of his... or so many other Republicans even turned against him on this issue because they recognized he was asking for stupid stuff. So it was going to be a non-issue. He was basically just a comedy sideshow in this whole thing. And then here we are, flipping back around to it doesn't get renewed because of, again, government shutdown. So yeah, this is a problem that just it's here, and until the government comes back, whenever, this is not going to get sorted out. So who knows?
Yeah, definitely not you know, top 15 things exploding right now because of the government shutdown, but not good. Not something you want to have.
True, but also it's not one of the top 15 things exploding right now. However, the moment that something does explode, this could rapidly become like number 2.
Oh yeah,
that's the scary part about this, is we're not looking at the thing that is blowing up today. Like, it's not breaking. It's not the cause of a genocide. It's not the cause of like mass deportations or loss of rights today. But literally tomorrow, it could be the thing that's like, oh crap, somebody just happened to hack a certificate authority, and that could have been reported like 2 days earlier. And now all the banks have just someone just broke into all the banks or something. I mean, that's a ridiculous example, but you get the idea. Like, this literally could be the thing that explodes tomorrow. And hopefully it's not. Hopefully this just goes unnoticed until it gets renewed, and then we can resume business as usual. But this actually is a very scary prospect if proper reporting does not get resumed.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same situation with all the air traffic controllers right now, where it's like, yeah, I mean, the planes are flying right now, but a couple, like 3 more of those people get sick, and the planes are going to start hitting each other on the runways.
Very possibly, yeah. Now I'm with you on the airplane.
Yeah, no, that was a story like 2 days ago of them being like, this shit sucks, and now we're not even getting paid. We're just gonna call in sick. Which, like, yeah. I get it, man. I watched that John Oliver episode. That shit sucks.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, there is not a chance in hell that I would be flying right now anyway. Like, there's so many reasons not to fly right now. I honestly, like, unless you absolutely need to, I think you're crazy if you hop on a plane. Honestly, it's just,
yeah. I mean, also the TSA guys are also not being paid, but they're cops, so that's funny.
Yeah,
they're cops who will not find the bombs in your luggage, as tested many times. I don't know how many articles there have been of like, oh yeah, they don't actually do anything.
I mean, they are actors.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
It's security theater, and they are putting on a performance.
Yeah, they will yell at me to take off my shoes. They love doing that.
Do they still do that?
At some airports, yeah.
Okay.
I think it is airport dependent, but then it's dumb, because I get in a situation where I'm like, okay, I'm almost at the top of the line, I better take my fucking shoes off, and then the TSA guy's like, what are you doing?
I know.
He's like, what do you want from me?
Guys, look, you created a dumb rule, you made sure everybody learned it and followed it. You can't then be surprised when you're like, nah, never mind, we don't do that now. But we don't. The other place where you're going to be flying back from, they do. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw my shoe at them like George W. Bush.
Yeah.
No,
anyway.
The worst part of TSA is that the bomb sniffing dogs are always really cute. But you can't pet them. And also they're cops, which is unfortunate. They deserved better.
I am so not going to say more about that, because I feel like somehow with this conversation, the mere fact that you've mentioned airports and used the word bomb like 6
Right.
times.
I'm
I
not. I'm not
think I
advocating
think
for
both of us are
anything
now
here.
already on a list.
Yeah. Please don't. Please don't try to bomb an airport. That's not nice. Or a
Uh,
plane.
among other things, in general, don't actually bomb things. Like
Right.
seriously, that's just look. You might
Because
get most
you're
of the
gonna
people who deserve
the
it, but there's also a lot of people who don't deserve it. You're probably
there's a
also
lot of
going to
people who
get.
don't
That's not
deserve
cool.
it, and also that TSA dog. The dog didn't
Yes,
choose to be
correct.
a cop. Unlike except the ones who flunk because they're too nice.
Those who can't bite are TSA
Yeah.
agents. I
Yeah. I get that's like a former cop, but
It's, I
that's always funny when you're scrolling through like I don't know if you've ever seen like pet adoption websites, but a lot of them are like, oh, this dog was too nice to be a cop, so he's up for adoption.
I have in fact
You
not
can't sniff
browsed
on.
pet adoption websites, but I think one of these days I'm gonna have to go looking to see if I can find
Yeah.
examples of this, because that does sound like one of those things that's almost that almost sounds like one of those the lies people make up to justify things, or the spin, like when people are talking about
Right.
an apartment and they call it cozy. It's like, oh yeah, okay, so it's like I can touch all the walls standing from one position. Got it.
Yeah.
Like
That's in there for like the ACAB people. It's like, guess what? This dog also doesn't want to be.
that too.
Anyway,
Yeah. So
um, so speaking of cops, California,
there's
uh,
no cops thing here.
there might be. I don't know. I mean, there has been. This is about commercials, and there is. I'm seeing a lot of discourse for like sports games that have like ice ads in the middle of them. That's a whole thing happening right now. People getting mad at the networks and the cable providers and everything. But
That's not what this
that,
is, but okay.
that's not entirely what this is.
Not entirely.
One of the laws that California is signing into law is a ban on loud commercials from streaming platforms. So I believe this was already on the books for like cable TV.
Yes, it was a federal law
Um,
that applied specifically to cable network satellite TV. So basically, any of these sort of classic media, but it did not apply to streaming services. Uh, and the simple explanation is those services were not allowed to air commercials that were appreciably louder than the content that had just been playing. So essentially, if they had just had, or if the show is overall quiet, the commercials that follow it have to also be scaled down in volume to match that volume level. Now, I think that there are some allowances in the sense of like if you have a normally loud show and there's a quiet scene, like I think the thing that follows that quiet scene can still just generally follow the show's average volume level. I'm not sure on that. I'm just speculating. But generally speaking, it was the kind of thing like you're not allowed to go from super quiet to blaring loud like commercials used to. But since it didn't apply to streaming services, yeah, some of them decided, let's go back to the old way that everybody hated. And California, in its infinite wisdom, has recognized that was dumb. Let's not let that be a thing anymore. So
yeah. So every time a state passes a law that like everyone else wants, I think there's always the idea of like, will this have some kind of carryover effect to other states? Like, for example, whenever the right to repair laws started passing that required companies to make like repair manuals, obviously, like if the repair manual is made at all, someone in another state can use it.
right.
But I don't I don't think there's going to be anything like this here. I don't think anyone else can look forward to quieter commercials, just because I'm assuming they're just going to put a volume limiter in the, there's going to be a line of code in the Disney Plus app that's like, if California, limit volume to X, and that's going to be it probably.
What I think is going to come of this, well, two things. First, in any service that does do that, and I think they're going to get called out for doing this eventually, if they do what you say and, basically screw everyone that isn't California, I think one of the first things we're going to see is people are going to start using all those VPNs that they got so that they could still see porn in whatever state they live in. They're just going to start making sure that they switch their VPN to California all the time so that they can just get streaming with proper volume. So
I love a federal republic. This is so much fun.
I know,
guys. Which state do I want to pretend to live in this hour? What do I need to do?
I mean, it works, in some form or another. But second, I think exactly what you just said, I think is going to happen. I think that carryover into other states is just going to become, I don't want to say automatic, because it certainly won't be, but I think what we're going to see is a whole lot of other states are going to look at this, and somebody within the state is going to be like, you know what? I haven't been able to pass anything for the last 6 months. So I'm just going to copy paste what they said. I'll change a few words here and there and then submit our bill in our state and hopefully beat whoever else is aiming to do the same thing. And let's just get this implemented in Oregon and Washington and Montana and Idaho and wherever. Well, Idaho's terrible, but wherever else, like, it'll just become a thing in enough states that I think you're going to start seeing, like, Netflix and Disney Plus and wherever else. I think they're all basically going to be like, you know what? Screw it. You guys win. We'll just fix this and make it a thing everywhere. Because I think they're not going to want to put it into their code that, ooh, we can annoy people a little bit more in this state, but not in this other state.
Yeah, I have to propose an amendment for this or any other states that try to do this, which is, as someone who doesn't care enough anymore to personalize my phone, my iPhone still has like the default ringer sound, the ding when I get a text or whatever. And some car dealership in my local area, their commercials always begin with the ding. It is psychological attack on any iPhone owners, because I'm like, what did my phone just do? Oh, they want me to buy a truck. That's pretty evil. So that also needs to be illegal, is using alert sounds.
First off, I completely agree.
Thank you. Everyone's telling me.
Yeah, people are saying this. Yes,
I'm well aware. People are. I can just change the sound on my phone, but I'm not going to. To quote Office Space. Why should I change? They're the one who sucks.
Yes. Probably the best quote from that movie. So yeah, I mean, I'll agree on this anyway. There actually was a law about this. I don't think it ever got passed, but there was actually somebody attempted to pass a bill. Maybe I'm only thinking about state level, but I swear it was federal, where they were saying certain types of media should not carry certain highly recognizable sounds that could convincingly distract you and make you think that you're hearing a different thing. And so the examples were typically like the sound of a phone ringing. If it's happening in like a movie, or more likely a song. that sort of a thing. And obviously that never happened because we can all name at least one or two songs that have phones ringing in ways that if you're just driving down the road and you don't realize that song has that sound in it, you absolutely think your phone just rang. You think somebody is calling you.
Or how many songs have like police sirens in them? That ship sailed.
Though fortunately, at least when it's police sirens, it's pretty much always like literally one rotation of the siren, and that's it. Whereas if you're hearing a real police siren, that keeps going. So at least that one's not as bad, but the phone ringing thing was always really dumb.
Metric Girl said, personally, I have no notification sound apart from SMS on two specific people and the default ringer sound. Fuck the default notification sound on Samsung. Yeah, I have to agree. The default Samsung one is bad. When I had my Samsung phone, I always changed it to one of the other defaults or a I guess I need to set this up again. I don't know what happened to it, but the Star Trek communicator beep, like when they open the communicator, the chime. That's fun. I like that one.
And I'm also with you on this. I don't personalize my phone a whole lot, and in the ways that I do, that's not one of the things that I bother with anymore. I haven't changed my sounds in ages. As it stands, like, dare I say, I don't even bother with changing my wallpapers anymore, or my backgrounds. I used to, and I still, I went through and picked something I like, and now it just follows my profile, I believe, and that's it. I don't have a desire to change them anymore. I don't want to maintain a background that I'm going to like, which I still actually have a couple stuffed in a Dropbox or maybe Google Drive that I used to use. Yeah, I'm done with that. It's just not worth it. I don't care. I don't look at it enough for it to be an issue. So yeah, I'm kind of done with personalization of my phone. Dare I say I got burned out on it.
I changed the wallpaper, but it's like a once every 6 months thing. So
yeah, okay, and I'll get that. I don't mind doing certain personalizations literally the first time I set up a phone. If I'm only going to set up a phone one time, maybe per year. But if there's any reason why, and this might be why I hate it too. If there's any reason why I have to reset a phone with frequency, which I used to do all the time. Oh man, setting up any personalization on that was just awful. It was never worth it. But again, maybe that's more of a me thing because I had to do so many resets all the time.
Yeah. When I reviewed phones, there was the list of extended settings that I don't were way too much effort to change every time. My smartwatch always stayed paired to whatever phone I actually owned. Was not going to do that every time. That was crazy.
Yeah, no, I don't think that would never have even been in my considerations. If I'm
especially I remember my Huawei watch was the funniest thing because every time I'd reset it, it'd go back to Wear OS 1. So after Wear OS 2, it's every time I'd reset it, go back to the original system software, and then 2 or 3 days later, whenever it had enough time to passively download a multi-gigabyte update, it would be back to normal.
Wow,
it was fun. That was a great watch. Metric said they have a Casio FNet. I think I have that one. It might be in another room. I also have a orange Casio watch. It's kind of nice.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that is loud commercial ban, but only if you live in California or maybe have a VPN subscription. We'll find out when it goes into effect in July 2026.
Yeah, that's to me the worst part of this is they're giving not a full year, but 9-ish months, basically. Yeah, 9 months to implement this, which I'm sorry, but every one of these companies, I would almost bet money they literally have this implemented already and could flip it on at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
So
And by then, California might like be the like independent Republic of California. That's a long time away.
yeah, no kidding. It's just, more than a couple days is a long time in 2025. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I think that this is still, at least this is good news. Like, for once, we're ending the show on good news, and I'm happy about that.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah, that is the wrap up of our topics. I know you have plans, which you're going to be taking off for pretty shortly. Which, hey, we kind of came in, I think, on time or about on time.
Yep. I don't have to leave quite yet. It's getting there.
Cool. So, with that, is there anything you'd like to bring up, pitch, publish, mention, talk about?
I'll put link to Tech Tales, my podcast. New episode went live today about Microsoft Kin, which was a fun Windows Phone thing. Which I recorded that episode just to give you an insight about how my time management is going, or like the tasks that have stacked up. I recorded that episode in July.
Oh, is that recent? I actually thought you recorded that. Honestly, I'm not kidding. I thought you recorded that like a year ago.
No, I recorded it in July. It was because of one got delayed. I ended up recording the Tech Tales Movie Club for Pirates of Silicon Valley, and then the day after recorded the Microsoft Kin one, and I edited the movie one first, and then a lot of stuff happened, and I just now like got the other one fully published. So
fair enough.
Part of me wants to buy a Microsoft Surface Duo. Don't do that.
Yeah, no.
I had one. I reviewed the first one for Android, please. I don't have it anymore because I had to give it back when I quit. But it was not that good. Mostly just the weird shape. It's not really like pocket shaped. It's kind of like you're putting like a weird sandwich into your pocket. It just wasn't good. So you can put Windows. No, that's worse. Only reason I want to buy it is so I can put Windows 11 on it. Why would you make it worse?
I just want to wrap my head around putting a weird sandwich in my pocket. I almost want to make that the title. Anyway,
is that a sandwich in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I will also recommend against the Surface Duo. Not for any specific reason, just I feel like that's one of those things that's probably unjustly still expensive. Also,
I will say, on the Duo, I did just a couple months ago upload. I'll put this in the YouTube chat as well. I did upload the entire media kit for the original Surface Duo because I found that I still have the flash drive that came with my unit, and I found it in a drawer. And I don't think most of this was online. So that's my historical preservation contribution to history is all of the high resolution images and video of this weird phone should be preserved.
Oh, so weird. Yeah, so anyway, and my call out is I have a new website. I mentioned this earlier. It is codytombs.com. It is going to have articles, reviews, various other content. I am also putting up hardware recommendation lists, which is right now kind of the immediate first step goal of the site. Basically, I want to get some affiliate links out there, and if anyone is doing some shopping on Amazon, click through those links, and when you make purchases, even if it's not of those items, then I will make a little bit of money, and that is really helpful. Because yeah, this channel needs it in all the ways. So yeah, that's what I'm going to direct people to today. Let's see. Romanian doesn't like the duo. I don't think America liked the duo either. So it is what it is. Yeah, and to be fair, I don't think they ever sold it outside of like the US and maybe a few of the like Western European countries. I'm not sure the duo had much distribution at all.
No.
But yes, anyway, so if you're gonna do any Amazon shopping, head over and click through one of my links right before you do, and it will help greatly. But with that, thank you all for coming by, hanging out, and being part of the conversation. Of course, huge thanks to supporters of the channel: David, Diablo, Austin, Carson, and Alyssa. Y'all are awesome. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links down below to Cash App, Streamlabs, and Patreon. And of course, again, go do some Amazon shopping if you feel so inclined. Let's see. As usual, I will be back this weekend with some game streaming, and next week, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Corbin, you're probably not going to be here.
Nope.
Okay. So yeah, I should be back with a ramble, probably going solo with that one. And yeah, that's pretty much the plan. So I hope everyone has an excellent rest of their week, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Good night, everybody.
Bye.